You gotta love the sport of boxing. It's the theater of the unexpected. Who would have ever thought Povetkin was going to knock out Dillian Whyte in a devastating fashion, coming off 2 knockdowns in the 4th round where it looked like it was all over for Povetkin. So this is definitely going down as the comeback of the year. Congratulations to Povetkin as he put himself in a nice position in the heavyweight division, since the heavyweight division is on fire right now. Meanwhile, Dillian Whyte, this is a perfect example of cherry picking going wrong. As far as I'm concerned, Povetkin was supposed to be a foregone conclusion win. However, Dillian Whyte was sadly mistaken. See, when you fight the fighters you're supposed to fight, it's okay if you lose, because you're losing to somebody that you actually supposed to lose to. But when you cherry pick and you lose, that hurts your brand because you weren't supposed to lose. In other words, Dillian Whyte avoided Luis Ortiz at all costs. He blamed it on Luis Ortiz's age. He stated Luis Ortiz is too old, blah, 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 blah. However, he contradicted himself fighting Povetkin because Povetkin was also the same age as Luis Ortiz. And the result of this cherry pick was devastating, to say the least. However, I'm going to talk about that later on in this video. But breaking down the fight, blow by blow, from the first bell, the element of danger was there, which was Povetkin power. On the other hand, Dillian Whyte, he was looking good from round 1, pumping his jab, fighting off the back foot, and being cautious of Povetkin overhand right. And it seemed like Povetkin was just over anxious to land that overhand right, which caused him to miss a whole lot, telegraph, and get countered in the process. As the fight went on, Dillian Whyte was investing to the body by countering to the body, throwing leads, hook to the body, and right hooks. Meanwhile, Povetkin was still desperate to land that overhand right hand. He was pretty much reaching for it, telegraphing, and throwing it at the wrong time. So he was missing a whole lot, and sometimes he was getting countered. When the 4th round came, Dillian Whyte, he started off well. Matter of fact, off the jump, Dillian Whyte landed 2 right hands back to back. Then Povetkin tried to respond by countering Dillian Whyte to the body. But he ended up getting countered himself with a Dillian Whyte left hook, which dropped Povetkin. However, the DAZN commentators were claiming that it was a flash knockdown, even though Povetkin was clearly hurt. Later on the round, during the last 20 to 30 seconds of the round, Povetkin actually had Dillian Whyte cornered on the ropes. He tried to take advantage of it, but he was kind of desperate, and he went to the body of Dillian Whyte, but he got countered in the process again with a left hook, getting dropped in the process. So going into the 5th round, Dillian Whyte was very, very, very comfortable. He thought he already broke down Povetkin, but he was highly mistaken. Therefore, Dillian Whyte made the ultimate mistake of trading with Povetkin. So during an exchange where Dillian Whyte threw a right hand and missed Povetkin, he slipped the right hand. Therefore, Dillian Whyte thought he was about to have his Derek 2.0 moment, which is keep the right hand up close to your chin and come back with the hook. However, he was highly mistaken because Povetkin was not hooking with the hooker. What Povetkin did, he sneaked the uppercut down the middle instead, which was beautifully delivered by Povetkin, which granted him the knockout win by a devastating fashion in the comeback of the year. So congratulations to Povetkin as he placed himself in a great position in the heavyweight division to make a whole lot of money. As we all know, Povetkin got great backing behind him. I don't gotta tell you that. I mean, the man failed 2 drug tests on more than one occasion for steroids, and he still went on and fought an opponent It wasn't Stavern because Stavern pulled out. He wasn't going to fight somebody on the juice. So the point is, that's the top of corruption we dealing with. Povetkin is actually a steroid user that got busted on more than one occasion. However, we can't really say much for this fight since Dillian Whyte failed multiple tests for steroids on 2 different occasions in the past. And after the Oscar Revius situation with Dillian Whyte and Povetkin's situation with Stavern, there is no telling what is going on overseas. But one thing we do know, sometimes you got to even out the playing field. So like I stated time and time again, Dillian Whyte, he did everything in his power to avoid Luis Ortiz. And tonight, you could see why he did not want to fight Luis Ortiz. Since Luis Ortiz is a Cuban sensation with 300 amateur fights, I'm telling you right now, Luis Ortiz will have ate Dillian Whyte for breakfast with all type of uppercuts and hooks coming from a southpaw position. I mean, it would have been a massacre to say the least. And if Povetkin could put your lights out, you could just imagine what Deontay Wilder will do. With that being stated, drop in the comments section below your thoughts on seeing Povetkin put Dillian Whyte lights out in the comeback of the year. Subscribe below if you're trying to get smarter by the minute. If you're trying to get dumber by the second, don't listen to these decafs, the dumb casual ass fans / old media that don't know shit about boxing. Word to Roger Mayweather, may he rest in peace. Click on the notification bell to get notified every time I post or go live on Split Decision. It's a boxing debate / talk show. Mixed, master, engineered, produced by yours truly, AKHi, the past, present, and future undisputed pound for pound #1 when it comes to debating. I got these decafs shook. They scared to look when AKHi's on TV because it's always bad news for these decafs. Also, join me every Wednesday on Boxing Hood. AKHi stand for my brother, and this is the Brotherhood of Boxing. So always call in, always tune in. And when it comes to Dillian Whyte, the last thing I do want to say is that I knocked out so many decafs when it comes to Dillian Whyte and them claiming that Deontay Wilder was avoiding Dillian Whyte when he was too busy fighting the best competition that Dillian Whyte himself was avoiding, such as Luis Ortiz. Deontay Wilder fought Luis Ortiz twice when he didn't have to. Meanwhile, Dillian Whyte, he was too busy cherry picking, and this was another perfect example of cherry picking going wrong. Either way, I don't want to really ish on a man while he's down like Dillian Whyte did to Deontay Wilder, but I'm going to call a spade. However, I do wish that Dillian Whyte bounced back. I actually was rooting for him because I want to see Dillian Whyte versus Wilder and Dillian Whyte versus Fury, etc., etc., etc. But Dillian Whyte showed us today that he's not a top 5 heavyweight. Therefore, to be continued on the next episode of AKHi TV. Peace, and we out of here.